Hi there. You might be wondering why I'm lying down on the bed. Well, I want to talk about sleep and why it's important and what you can do about it to make it really good for your health. And also, if you want to master things like dream yoga and lucid dreaming, then some of the tips, some of the things I'm going to mention here may be very helpful to you. So stick with me here if you'd like to learn a few things. Um, So when it comes to sleep overall, again, sleep is super important to our health, probably more important even than eating food or exercise. A lot of people underestimate the importance of sleep, including myself. I used to be a night owl, and fortunately for me, I know how to regulate my body for most part, and I've managed to be quite healthy. Um, However, those of you who don't know how to balance the body may have issues with your bodies because if you don't sleep well, you can't heal. The body needs sleep to regenerate, heal itself, to balance its hormones, detoxify, and so forth, and reset. So, what can you do about it? Now, the important things to consider are if you want to have a really good sleep at night, first of all, make sure that you abstain from things like eating late at night. So, stop eating late. Stop eating at least 2 hours before bed. And if you do eat something like a soup, something light. So, food, abstain from food at night. Only some kind of liquid, maybe a soup. And if you do drink something liquid, then I recommend that you do that within an hour before bedtime, because otherwise you're gonna wake up to go to pee at night. Second thing is to consider is the other thing to consider is make sure you turn your light off and that there is no light coming in through your window. Having light on in your room, sitting at your computer, and having light come through the window at night affects your melatonin production in your brain. And if you don't produce enough melatonin, which is one of the very important hormones and antioxidants, then again your health will suffer and you'll get sick down the road. So make sure you turn off the light, all the light in your room. Make sure your windows are covered sufficiently not to allow any light in. Turn off your computer and set it up so that your blue light settings are off. The other thing that I would suggest at nighttime is stay away from negative information, any negative news. So I would recommend meditating, listening to some nice calming music, and just focusing on the gratitude for this very day that you just experienced. The other thing that I would recommend is the other thing I would recommend to help you sleep is the direction you sleep in and how you sleep, the way you sleep. So what I mean by that is every direction we sleep in has a certain energetic or magnetic pull. In the ancient times, the Taoists knew about how each direction on the compass, which includes 8 directions, not just north, south, east, and west. Each direction has an energetic pull and influence on the body and the body organs. Some schools of thought say to sleep to the north if you're in the if you're in the southern hemisphere, and some schools say to sleep in the south if you're in northern hemisphere. I say it really depends on each person's body. I found from my experience living in the northern hemisphere primarily, I find that sleeping to the north, especially northeast, a little bit slightly to the northeast, and then switching to the south in the morning has been the best for my body and my health. Oftentimes, those of you who have not gotten a really good sleep at night, you'll find that if you switch to the south in the morning after sleeping to the north, you will sleep a few hours longer and you'll find yourself a lot more recharged. And because men's and women's body is different, some sources say that it's good for, especially if you have kidney weakness, it's good to sleep to the north for men, potentially for women. And for women, it's generally recommended to sleep to the south for the fire element. So again, it's not black or white which direction is best. And I recommend you try sleeping to the north, see how you feel, and sleep to the south, see how you feel, sleep to the east and west, and check in between directions. For example, for me, sometimes I'll sleep to the north, then I'll switch to the south in the morning, or sometimes I'll find I can't sleep to the north, so I'll sleep to the south. I'll just, within 10 minutes of going to bed, I'll know, because my body will not want to sleep. So I use that little hack to determine which direction I should be sleeping, south, north, or in between directions. I find sleeping to the east or west is not always the most restful. I find if I sleep to the east every day, there is no way. After the third or fourth day, I find myself really restless. Maybe 2 or 3 days maximum, that's okay, but no more than that. Same thing with western direction. Yeah, because east is the liver direction. And if you sleep to the liver direction, you're overstimulating the liver. It may not be a bad thing. I mean, I find northeast a little bit better, but east not so much, from my experience. Again, if you have liver issues, you might want to sleep to the east. If you have heart problems, maybe to the south, or depending on whether the heart problem is coming from the kidney or from the heart itself. So there's many different causes for different health issues, right? But in the ancient Egypt, the Egyptians would recommend, especially according to Hermes Trismegistus, or Thoth, it was recommended in the Emerald Tablet to sleep to the north and then to sleep to the south, just like I mentioned. Some yogis, some Tibetan yogic practices, such as dream yoga, recommend sleeping to the south and sleeping on your right side of your body so that the left nostril is up and so that most of the prana comes in through the left nostril, through the left side channel. And however, because men and women's body is different energetically, it would be recommended for women to sleep on their left side. However, if you have heart problems, it's recommended to sleep more on the right. Again, we have to know a lot more, right, about person's condition. If you are having digestive, like let's say if you ate something, you'll notice that usually your body will want to sleep on the left side because that's where your stomach is, right? It's predominantly on the left, and that helps digestion. So that's a little bit about directions. And again, each direction we sleep in, that is determined by our body constitution, by where we are on the planet, which hemisphere, which country, and also by your gender and the result you want. So I recommend try sleeping to the north, then switch to the south and see how you feel. And then in the morning, collect the chi. I might make another video about that, but I'm actually planning to teach this in my workshop on dream yoga and dream qigong. All right, let's carry on. What else can you do before going to bed? I recommend to get a good night's sleep, there are some mantras you can use that could be very helpful. I find even just repetition of a regular mantra, like for example, Om Ami Dewa Khri, Om Ami Dewa Khri, Om Ami Dewa Khri. It's a really nice mantra. It helps you to connect with the Dewa Chen and Amida Buddha, Pure Land. Or you can use whatever practice you have according to your tradition. You know, if you're Muslim, you might want to use something like La ilaha illallah, just repeat that a number of times. Or if you are Jewish, you might repeet Kabbalistic practices, Kabbalistic sort of mantras, you could say, like Yod Hey Shin Vav Hey, or Ahaya Asher Ahaya. So it's up to you, right? I recommend you use some sort of a mantra that really works for you. So you might want to try a few different ones. I recommend Om Ami Dewa Khri. If you can, try it. If you want to, give it a go. Something that's very peaceful and helps you to go deeper into dream sleep. There is a mantra of Drenpa Namka that I recommend. And Drenpa Namka was one of the Buddhas that came here before. And Drenpa Namka's mantra was Aom Hung Drenpa Namka Harinisa Siddhi Hring Hring Hum Hum Zaza. It's a beautiful mantra, very powerful, very healing to your mind and your body. It heals you from all kinds of mental, physical, spiritual issues, and also helps you with your life's issues, any problems you may have, financially, whatever is going on in your life. You will definitely benefit from this particular mantra by connecting to the Buddha Drenpa Namka. What else? There are other mantras that are used in dream yoga, which I will definitely talk about in my workshop, such as Aum Hum, Nutara, Lasha, Nutara, Shala Sha. So there's again different mantras for dream yoga. There is one, for example, called it's Ralashasa. Ralashasa is another very powerful mantra, and so I recommend again applying the mantras accordingly to the different practices, focusing on different chakras. And what else? When you wake up in the morning, this is important. I recommend that you store your chi. I will explain this in the workshop that I teach. It's going to be on Eventbrite on one of those platforms very soon. I would love to share my experience of dream yoga and Qigong, in dream Qigong that I've been practicing for many years with you. And if you would love to learn, I will definitely deliver all the information that I have learned over the last 30 years or more. So I hope that it will be very helpful to you. And what else? One more other thing I wanted to mention, if you want to improve your sleep quality, is to do prana purification before going to bed. That's definitely a game changer to do the prana purification, because prana purification, it opens up your channels and helps to purify your central channel and calm down the internal wind which calms down your mind. So for those of you whose minds are restless, this may be very helpful. And again, I'll be covering this in my seminar. So I invite you to join me. I will post information most likely about the event and the seminar in my YouTube chat. So join me, and I hope you have a very nice, very good, and restful sleep tonight. Take care.